So this video is going to be very short and sweet and to the point. Um, I have been on YouTube for 16 years. Yesterday, January 29th, was the 16th anniversary of my first YouTube video. And as I look at the state of content creation, of the internet as a whole, of society as a whole, our culture, the way that the internet has changed us and changed itself over the last 16 plus years, and I try to think of what does the next 16 years look like? What do I want my contribution to look like? And I have a very bold and I have a very bold prediction. I hope I'm wrong, but I can't see any other way of what the next 60 years could look like. When I compare the difference of the world pre-internet compared to now, and you see how dramatically different everything is, I think the next 16 years are going to be a order of magnitude bigger of a shift. Because you look at AI, it's getting to the point very quickly, very, very soon, where you can't trust literally anything you see. If it's on the internet, if it's on your phone, if it's in a print magazine, because AI can generate text, if it's on TV, because AI can generate videos, if it's photos, AI can generate very convincing photos now. We're getting to a point where we can't trust literally any media. And so the only conclusion that seems reasonable is to abandon all media. And as someone who's dedicated the last 16 years to YouTube, to media, to video, because I really fell in love with the power of video. That's a terrifying thought, and it's a bit of it's like threatening a loss of that part of my identity. And it's okay. That's part of life, but it's a big change. I think, yeah, I could see there would be an intermediate period in which first thing to go is all websites that allow user-generated content. So YouTube, social media platforms, Facebook, TikTok, blah, blah, blah. Anything where anyone can upload, those are going to be the first platforms to go, because you can't trust literally anything that's on them. So why bother? Or there'll also be like an intermediate period before those go, where it's like you're only trusting certain people, certain pages, but then even then it's like, how do I know? So eventually those will go, and then you'll end up with this like very archaic style system of only trusting government websites. But even then, how do you know? Because I've personally witnessed TV newscasts, like on my parents' TV downstairs, where they are spreading blatant lies. And a quick little search, the example was they were claiming that this politician was posting satanic rituals on TikTok, and they showed the page, the TikTok page, the like profile page of that account. And so I was like, I'm skeptical of this. So I went up onto that page, and it says very blatantly, this is a parody page, this is not really the politician, this is just jokes. And the TV news people were convinced that this was real, that this was like, this politician was actually posting satanically blood ritual stuff, but it was all AI generated video, and they were fooled by it. They were spreading this blatant lies. So I'm like, we can't trust them. We can't trust anything we see on the internet. You don't know if I even exist. I do, but you just take my word for it, I guess. And then you'll even get to a point where it's like you can't even trust the government websites, you can't trust their scientific studies and their research, because who knows where they're getting their sources from, and they can get fooled. They can see some, that was my mom sneezing downstairs, they can see something that they think is real that isn't. And what really scares me is we get to a point where no one knows anything. We can't check any of our sources because we have to, no matter where they are, there's an element of trust there. So part of this intermediate period would be the only people that can effectively use the internet are the ones that have the prerequisite knowledge and discernment capacity to figure out, like, does this make sense? Does this align with what I know to be true? And so anything that's related to, like, objective reality would be very difficult to use media for. The only like valid use of the internet or any form of media at that point would be fiction, because fiction is already a space in which something can be true without being real, if that makes sense. So, like, you can have a dynamic between characters that feels true, that seems like this is a reasonable, believable situation that could actually exist, even if it's not real, right? And I think that's what the internet is going to be for a while. It's going to be the only thing that can exist in an AI, the only thing that can exist on the internet or in any form of media in a world in which AI exists is fiction. Because then everything you see in any form of media will be, does this feel true, regardless of if it's real? There will be, you simply will not be able to trust whether or not anything on any form of media is real. And we're kind of already at that point. Like, I could go completely off the deep end with conspiracy theories and be like, I don't know if Trump even exists. Maybe AI has been around for a while and we haven't known about it, and it's just very, very convincing at this point. What if the assassination attempt was faked? What if that footage is AI generated? I've never met him in person. I don't know. Right? This is just I'm not saying I believe that. I'm saying it's terrifying that we are now in a world in which that is a reasonable belief. Hold on a second, let me close my door. I'm filming YouTube.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. Yeah, it's weird that a world in which AI exists is a world in which that is a reasonable belief. Someone could believe that, and I'd be like, hey, you're free to believe that. I can't refute it. It's very possible. And so I'm like, well, what am I doing here? Why am I posting videos? Why do I bother? If we can't trust literally anything we see on the internet, and I'm tempted to get rid of my phone, get rid of my computer, get rid of all of that, and just go offline. And then the only thing that is left is personal direct experience, which is valid, but needs to be taken with a lot of, like, not just a grain of salt, but a lot of salt, because it's riddled with bias and inaccuracies, and it's like personal direct experience is valid, but cannot be the only thing you rely on when it comes to discerning truth, when it comes to scientific studies of right? I feel I've said enough. I feel I've made the point.
Buckle up, boys.
It's gonna be a wild ride.